9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Starboard Portal. This morning, we're back with another weekly workout from Mike Kushner of Sailing Performance Training. As always, if you have questions for Mike throughout the session, feel free to ask them in the live chat. And with that, I'll turn it over to him to get us started.
Thank you, Brittany. Welcome, sailors. Again, another week goes by, kind of Groundhog's Day. I'm sure you guys are feeling the same thing, but excited for the weekend. Again, what we're doing here is basically setting up a weekly workout so that you'll be able to get moving each week. Again, this is bare minimum. You should be moving every day. And through our medallion program, you can sign up for a free 2-week trial where you can go through some of these workouts, some different workouts, and it's all scalable for every different level. So today, what we're going to do is another weekly workout, and I have my trusty board here, which has gotten a lot of use over the past few weeks. But again, we will start with a warm-up. We'll go into the B section, which will be 3 rounds. It's going to be 10 Cossack Squats, 10 reverse crunches into a candlestick. So we're getting a little gymnastics-y here. 5 push-ups with a pseudo planche position. We'll go over all these movements and scales for them. 10 tuck-ups, and then 1 minute rest between rounds. This is kind of a skill-based section of training. And again, we can go over all modifications on how to do these appropriately. The goal here is just challenge your movement, get out of your comfort zone and really challenge both position and stability and ability to do some different types of movements that maybe you haven't done in the past. So that will be the first section, and then we will go into a metabolic conditioning session with 3 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. We will do 3 different movements: burpees, plank hold, and reverse lunges. And I'll go over how we score this metabolic conditioning session, and then we will have a cool down to finish. So again, we'll start with the warm up here, get moving, get our temperature up, muscle temperature up, and go from there. All right, I'll step back into my space here. All right, to start out, we're just going to go ahead and do a knee grab again. I'm just gonna lift the video up a little bit so you can see me. There we go. So grabbing the right knee, you're gonna pull it up towards your chest as far as it will go, and switch sides. We'll do 3 per side. One more per side. Good, and then we're gonna go into a forward lunge. We'll take the left leg out forward, keeping that knee directly over the heel, and we're going to take that same elbow, that knee is forward, and we're going to bring it down to the ground, pulling your belly button to the ground as much as possible. Then we're going to reach to the sky, and we're going to come into a half front split. Keeping that core nice and straight, and spine nice and straight, core nice and strong, just hinging forward just slightly. We'll go back, same side, elbow to the ground, up to the sky. Sun's coming out, and hinge back, straight leg, hinge forward, nice stretch in the hamstring. One more time on this side, elbow to the ground, reach up to the sky, and hinging back. Again, flat back, hinging just slightly forward. You'll feel it in maybe your low back or in your hamstring. Stand and switch sides, right leg forward, right elbow to the ground. Trying to bring your belly button to the ground as far as possible. You'll feel it in that right hip, reaching up to the sky, and leaning back, straight leg, straight spine, and hinging forward. 2 more reps on this side, elbow to the ground, up to the sky, and hinging back. Last rep. Elbow to the ground, up to the sky, and hinging back. Good, and we're gonna stand. I'm gonna have you go wide stance with your legs. And what I'm gonna do is just have you reach your hands up, arch back just slightly, and then we're gonna come down and reach to the ground. Let your head relax, let your back relax. You'll feel some tension in the back of your legs. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna walk to the right. So now you're gonna grab your right foot and lean into that right side. You'll feel that whole right leg, hamstring, calf start to light up just a little bit. Good, and then we're gonna stand and we're gonna reach back to the sky, arch your back just slightly. We're gonna come to the left side. And same thing, lean into that left side. You'll feel the calf and the hamstring. Create a little bit of tension there from sitting so much. We're gonna go back to the middle, reaching a little bit further. Back to the right, one more time around. Back to the right. Up to the sky, reaching back. And down to the left. Lean into that left side. And back to the middle. Good, that'll be our nice, simple little warm up, getting the legs moving. The next, we're gonna warm up the upper body here next. So I'm just gonna start out with some arm circles. So 10 arm circles back. And then 10 forward. Trying to get full rotation at the shoulder. Good, we're gonna do T's. So I'm gonna have you bring your hands up overhead and then come down to the side. The goal here is that we can squeeze our shoulder blades together in the back and create some scapular retraction so that we're nice and strong at this position. I just want you to hold this position, create some tension in this position. We're gonna do 10 small circles forward, very small circles, keeping that tension in the upper back, 10 small circles back. Good, and hold that position. I'm gonna have you rotate your neck to the left, rotate your neck to the right. We're gonna do that 2 more times, total of 4 times. Good, and relax. Woo, upper back is just lit up. And that's what we're trying to do in the warm up. We're trying to create muscle activation so that our body recognizes what muscle patterns that should be firing are ready to fire. So upper back, create stability at the shoulder, in the glutes. We're trying to create some range of motion and some activation into that hamstring and glute posterior chain so that we're not so loaded in the front of the shoulder. Our neck isn't so rounded, our shoulder isn't rounding forward, and our knees aren't taking most of the load, which is normal for sailors. We're very anteriorly dominant when we're sailing, as well as poor lifestyle, which is sitting so much, which probably we're doing some of just in this quarantine time. So again, nice simple warm up, activating posterior chain, back of the shoulders, and warming up the legs and the hips, getting some range of motion in there. Awesome. So we'll move into section B, which is going to be 3 rounds, 10 Cossack squats, 10 reverse crunches with candlestick, 5 push-ups with pseudo planche positions, and 10 tuck ups. So let me go through each of the movements, and I'll go through movement standards. And if you have questions on how to scale or further how to do a movement, please provide some questions in the comment section, and Brittany will let me know. But we will go through each of the movement standards, and then we'll go through each of these, this whole cycle or circuit 3 times, 1 minute rest between. So there'll be lots of opportunities for questions. Again, this is quality over quantity at the moment. So first one is going to be the Cossack squat. So the Cossack squat is basically a lateral lunge or lateral squat, but we're going to keep our legs wide. And we started in a warm up in this wide position. What we're going to do is we're going to send our hip back and our knee to the side and hinge as low as you can get with that right leg or the leg that's bent, keeping stability, keeping that knee behind the toe, keeping that butt driving back, and you can lift up the opposite leg, keeping that as straight as possible. Goal is to keep a nice upright torso and then stand. So we're working into that bottom range of a single leg lunge, switching side to side. You're gonna come up to a stand, and then you're gonna switch down to that other side. Come up to a stand, switch down to that other side. Stand, down to the other side. So this will be 10 reps, and we're gonna move alternating sides, working 5 per side. So that's the goal with this. Again, just movement standards right now. Okay, so you may feel like you have a little bit of tightness in the groin or the inner part of the leg. You can limit how much you go down. You don't have to go down all the way. The goal is to keep that upright torso and that butt sending back. Almost fell back there. And that's the goal, is we want to try to find that stability point without driving the knee forward or the heels coming up off the ground. Just driving back, stable position of this foot and this knee, driving up and out, and switching sides. If this is too difficult, I grabbed my trusty dining table chair. So something as such can be an easy support for you to grab onto. It could be a desk, could be the edge of a couch or a recliner chair if you want. But basically going into that wide stance, supporting with this chair right in the middle of your position. And you're gonna hinge back, holding on to that chair. Again, keeping the knee out and vertical shin as possible, hip driving back. You're gonna have a stable position of that leg. And then you can even pull up with your hands if you need to get out of it. The goal is to find that stable position and drive up on it out. Find that stable position, drive up and out. So that's a good sub. Even if you feel like you know the movement, you can do it. Really strive for that upright torso, and a support can really help it. A more advanced technique of it would be to actually hold a weight in a goblet fashion, and then go through that range motion too. But we'll keep everything body weight right now for this video. Good. The next one is reverse crunches to candlestick. We've done the reverse crunches before, so you know this one. I know you know this one, but we're gonna add a candlestick to this, which is a very gymnastics position and into almost an inverted position with our body. So come on and watch. All right, so the reverse crunch simply is laying on the ground, legs extended all the way, and you're going to bring your knees up as high as you can and then lower back down. It's a reverse crunch. We're working on our lower abdomen, and then it transfers into our upper abdomen muscles. So that's the reverse crunch. And then to get more gymnastics, we can go into a pike by raising our legs up in the air. And it's going to create more of a full contraction of the body to stay stable. And theoretically, you could stay and hold this position at the top, okay? But just touching at the top and coming back down. If that's too hard, just stick with the reverse crunches and then add in a little leg thrust into the air as you feel comfortable. So that's the reverse crunch to candlestick, which is a fun gymnastics movement that the light fixes itself. Great. Again, if you have any questions, please ask and we'll address them before we get started. The next movement is a push-up, and we're gonna put a little gymnastics variation on it with a pseudo planche position. The planche position is a very stable position of the shoulder, but it's very hard to achieve because it requires that you create quite a bit of wrist extension. Wrist extension will look like this. So if this is just a plank, the planche position is a very forward position of the shoulder, keeping that plank position, but we're leaning forward or initiating the movement with our shoulders forward. And what this does is it focuses on the upper back, the lat, and all the stabilizing muscles in the back to actually do the work. It connects the core to the push-up or the plank. So just the planche hold would just be holding that position with your shoulders forward of where your hands are. In essence, that's what it is. We call it a pseudo planche because really in gymnastics, they get very, very far forward. We're not quite at that level. It's okay, we're sailors, right? Wink, wink. But we'll call it the pseudo planche, where we're just trying to achieve a little bit more stability with the shoulders forward. Okay, now we're gonna add the push-up into it. So plank position, pseudo planche position, shoulders are initiating forward. We're coming down to the push-up position at the bottom. You can see that my forearm is very vertical and my shoulders are very far forward. And we're gonna come out of that push-up position into that top planche position hold. So let's get down and up, down and up, down and up. Very difficult to achieve. You can even tell that I'm straining as I'm talking. So that's the goal here, right? That's the standard that we're gonna try to achieve. Regressions, let's regress back. Let's regress back to just a push-up. Shoulders are stacked over the hands, and we're going to initiate a little bit with shoulders forward, but we're coming straight down and straight up, straight down and straight up. If we need to go to the knees, we can go to the knees and straight down and straight up, straight down and straight up. The goal here, what I'm trying to have you achieve, is to really initiate the movement with the shoulders forward. So even if we have to sub by coming to less of a leverage point by the knees, let's really try to initiate the shoulders forward first and then drive up. And it focuses on a different part of the shoulder, more of the stability aspect of using the lat and the upper back versus using the pec and the bicep so much. So if you ever have pain in the front of your shoulder here, we want to focus on initiating with the shoulders forward. It'll keep a more stable position, use more of the muscles in the back. You can get into the analogy of what that looks like at the hip too. That's why we send the hip back when we move. It's analogous to sending the shoulders forward. We're trying to use more of the muscles to create stability, okay? Good. Last movement is a tuck up. So a tuck up is similar to a V up, but we're gonna have our knees bent just slightly, and we're gonna come up into a tuck position, creating this V, basically a bent knee V up, but we're gonna tuck up, hold for 1 second, come back down, tuck up, stabilize, hold, come back down, up, stabilize, hold, and come back down, right? This is gonna be quantity over quality. If you're struggling with the tuck up, just moving into a sit up, really focusing on the full contraction of it. Not a crunch, full sit up to the full expression of the movement. Great, so again, we'll review the rep scheme, but again, you can just follow my lead. This is quality over quantity. So we will go slow. 10 reps of the Cossack squat, 10 reps of a reverse crunch candlestick, 5 reps of the push-up pseudo planche, and 10 tuck-ups, 1 minute rest in between. And I will start with 1 round. If anybody has any questions, I will review again and answer your questions during the second round. We'll do 3 rounds, and then we'll talk about the next segment. Great. All right. So starting with 10 Cossack squats, legs wide. We're going to lunge to the left, and up, up, keeping a stable hip, stable knee. That's 4 reps, 6 reps, 8 reps, 2 more, 10 reps. Good. Nice. Now we'll move into the reverse crunch with the candlestick, 10 reps. Lying on your back, legs straight. You're gonna bring your knees up to your chest and shoot forward, shoot up to the sky. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Next is going to be the push-up with the pseudo planche or a regression of that. Totally okay. 5 reps. I'm going to challenge myself, see what I can do here. Create a nice strong core, hollow body position, shooting the shoulders forward, coming down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. And tuck ups. Tuck ups. So fully extended at the bottom, 10 tuck ups. Come up, hold 1 second, down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. We'll do a 1-minute rest. If there are any questions, this will be the time to ask and let me know. A lot of this is just challenging position. If you can challenge position and stability, you're gonna improve your overall athleticism in the sport and overall when you're training too. So again, quality or quantity, and when you're able to activate and stabilize in certain positions, you're connecting more chains of muscle together, which is very helpful so that you're able to create good patterns of movement and not compensate with smaller muscles or less efficient muscle groups. 30 more seconds. It's good to rest. You know, it's good to have a good amount of rest between rounds of movement, you know, keeping a lower heart rate and focus more on the muscle activation is you know, really critical to improving muscle activation, which is good. Okay, start in 5 seconds here. Again, Cossack Squat, 10 reps, wide stance, and here we go. 4 reps, 6 reps. Remember to keep the torso tall. 8 reps, 10 reps. Good job. We're going to move into reverse crunches. Legs extended. You're going to bring your knees up and shoot up to the sky into the candlestick position. Try to hold a point of stability at the top. Each rep does 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. We'll move into the push-up with a pseudo planche position. Again, shooting the shoulders forward first, holding a nice solid plank position. You're going to shoot the shoulders forward, down, and up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Last thing is going to be a tuck up, 10 reps. Starting extended, coming up to a tuck up position, holding this knee, and coming back down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. 1 minute of rest. And then we'll do it one last time. Great job, everybody. If you have questions, please provide them in the comments. And let me know how it goes. Let me know what's the struggle. How did you scale? And you have to know kind of where you stand in your ability to activate and keep control through position and motion. Very important body awareness technique is to understand where your body starts to break down. Is it in the core? Is it in the shoulders? Is your neck compromised by shooting forward? So it's just the aspects. It's really good for us to assess. Great. We'll start again in 20 seconds. Maybe what I'll do, just for the heck of it, what I'll do is I'll do the scaled version this last time, just so you can see it. Remember, if you felt like you were at the right position, go for it. If you need to challenge yourself a little bit further, try to improve. Even if you don't get the full amount of reps, you have to take a break, a little bit of a break in between each rep, go for that more advanced. But I'll scale just so you can see what that looks like. All right, so Cossack Squats. I'm gonna grab the chair in front as a support. And we'll start here, and it's a little bit more than a minute rest. So that's all right. Starting in 3, 2, 1, grabbing the chair. I'm gonna hinge to the side and pull myself up. Pull myself up, that's 2 reps. Sending the hips back and up, hips back and up, that's 4 reps, good job. And up, 6 reps. Pulling yourself back up, keeping stability with those hands, 2 more reps. Great, and then we're gonna move into reverse crunches with the candlestick. Again, the candlestick, just creating a little bit more extension and control at the midline. If you can't do that, let's just do reverse crunches. So reverse crunches will look like such. Just gonna bring your legs up as high as you can get them towards your chest and down. That's 2 reps, 3 reps, 4, 5, and I'll go into candlestick just to show you again, shooting up to the sky. Good, that's 8, 9, 10. Great. Now into the push-ups. I'll do 3 scaled and 2 at the normal, just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so scaled. Let's do knee scaling, but I'm gonna strive for that planche position, pseudo planche position. So from this position, I'm gonna shoot my lean forward and then come down and back up, keeping that core nice and tight. Come down, back up, come down, back up, okay? And effectively going to the full range for the last 2 reps is just going into that plank position, leaning forward, down, and up, and up. Good, and then tuck ups. So tuck up, I'll do a few normal, coming up, showing stability. If you can bring your legs straight, that's great. If you can't, just keep them bent. Come back down, that's 2. And then if you need to scale, we're just doing regular sit-ups with those feet planted. 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see I use my arms to create a little bit of momentum. 8, 9, 10. Good job, everybody. That's some quality movement right there. Love it. What we're all about at SPT. Quality over quantity. But when we need to get the quantity in, we get it done. So that was the first round. Love that one. Nice job, Carson. Coach Carson, medallion program, set us up with these workouts. All right, we'll go into round C. 3 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. We're gonna do 3 different movements: burpees, plank hold, lunges. So each movement, we're gonna do 45 seconds of work, then we're gonna rest 15 seconds. Then we're gonna switch movements. So burpees, 45 seconds, rest 15. Plank hold, 45-second hold, 15-second rest. Reverse lunges, 45-second work, 15 seconds of rest. We're gonna do that all for 3 rounds, sorry. So 9 minutes total of work. And if you're up for it, grab a sheet of paper, log on your phone. If you're using the app, our app, log in the app, how many reps you get for each of these movements. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a total of the burpees and the reverse lunges. So if you get 20 burpees each round and you get 10 reverse lunges each round, then we're gonna have 60 burpees and 30 reverse lunges. Your score would be 90. The plank holds, we're not scoring, but try to hold for that full 45 seconds. If you have to break in between, that's okay. Hop back in as you rest. Rest for 1 or 2 seconds and then hop back into the movement. All right, so I'll do the movement standard. We'll touch on this one more time and then we'll get after it. Burpees, again, there's 2 scales for burpees. One is just gonna be the simpler version, which is just coming down to a plank with your hands below your shoulders and into that plank position. You can jump back into it, jump back up, landing on your heels and standing and jumping up into the sky. All right, if we can't do that jump, that active hip contraction during the burpee, you can step back into it, okay? So plant your hands, step back up, and jump. So that's the scaled version, no push-up version. Here's the push-up version, is just jumping down into a push-up all the way to the ground, doing that push-up, jumping back and up. One more time, and up. If you want to step back, jump, step up, quite all right, okay? 2 different versions there. Plank hold, you've already done it. Holding this plank position. Again, I'd challenge you, if you feel like you need a little bit more of a challenge, create that wrist extension, push the shoulders out in front, keep a nice hollow body core, nothing. If your kid was sitting on your back right now, you would not be able to create any type of extension. We don't want butt poking up, lumbar extension, which will feel the low back. We want to create tension, squeeze the butt, hold that position for 45 seconds. If you need to move to the knees, that is okay. Again, challenge with the shoulders forward. And then the last will be reverse lunges, coming up to a standing position, and we're gonna reverse lunge. Counting our reps for the burpees and for the reverse lunges, I'll tell you when to start and I'll tell you when to stop. For the reverse lunges, trying to keep this 90-degree position with the front leg, 90-degree position with the back leg. Just touching the back knee to the ground, kissing it to the ground, and then standing upright, okay? Yeah, back, 90, 90, keeping that torso over the hip and over the knee. Not folding forward, not sending the butt back, but coming straight up and standing from your mat. Great. Brittany, please let me know if there's any questions. So I'll run through it one more time here. 3 rounds, 45 seconds to work, 15 seconds to rest for each of those movements. Then we're going to cord the number of burpees we got and the number of reverse lunges that we get. So keep that tally in your head. You need to mark down, and I'll do that on my end, mark down how many reps we got each round and then total, or you could just keep a running tally in your head, and we're gonna post those into the comments. Okay, I'm gonna move this over here so I can keep a tally. Get the water, and we'll be good to go. Looking forward to this one. Great. So we're going to start in 30 seconds because my watch is going to turn over at that point, and then we will go. "20 seconds. Burpees, plank hold, reverse lunges. Starting in 10 seconds. Remember, count your reps. Here we go, and 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2. 15 seconds left. 5 seconds left. 2, 1, and rest. I got 15 reps of burpees. 1, 5. Record, starting plank hold in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Breathe. Contract your core. Squeeze your butt. Send those shoulders forward. Pushing away from the ground. Good. 15 seconds in. Nice job. The wider your fingers are, the more support you'll have. Gripping with your fingers. 15 seconds left. Keep that core nice and strong. Push away from the ground. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Great. Shake those arms out. We'll start in 10 seconds. For reverse lunges, remember we're going to record how many reps you get. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Alternating legs. "15 seconds in, 10 reps. "30 seconds in, 15 seconds left. I'm at 22 reps right now. Good, just kissing the back leg, 5 seconds. 26, 27, and rest. 28 reps. Nice job. 1 round done, or 2 more. 28. Going back to burpees. My goal is to get 15 reps. 3, 2, 1, and go. Ten reps, 15 seconds to go. That's 15. One more last one. And rest. Good job. That's 16 reps. Beat my score by 1. Okay. Next is plank hold. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Breathe. This is your recovery, believe it or not. Holding this position. How many times in sailing are you just hiking your butt off, and as a result, you're resting, trying to make some wise decisions. I don't know how many more wise decisions I have in me right now. Hold, squeeze your butt, keep your core tight, push away from the ground. 15 seconds left. Ooh, shoulders are burning. That's all right, that's good. Push away. Keep your core tight. The more muscles you can recruit, the stronger you'll be. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Great job. We'll move into reverse lunges. 28 reps have to beat. That's the goal. Starting in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ten reps in, 15 seconds in. Twenty reps in, 30 seconds in. Five seconds. And rest. 29 reps. 1 rep improved. All right. Last round coming up. Try to get equal or the same. Burpees. 3, 2, 1, and go. Ten reps in. 15 seconds left. Five seconds left. And rest. 16 reps. Did the same as last. Good job. Telling good job to myself and to you. Okay, plank hold. Again, this is your rest. 2, 1, and hold. Breathe. Breathe. Sorry for the heavy breathing. That's part of working out. Gotta learn to breathe. Good job. 20 seconds in. Again, try to challenge by leaning your shoulders forward. 15 seconds left. Butt tight, core tight. Push away from the ground. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Shake your arms out. Arms are done. Now we're going into reverse lunges. Last movement. Beat your time. Beat your reps. 29. I got to get 30. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, 10, 15 seconds in. Just kissing the back knee. Reps in. 15 seconds left. 24. 28. 5 seconds left. 30. Nice job. 2, 1. 32. Yes. Nice job, team. 32 reps. Break. You are done. All right. Bringing the bike board over. Nice job. So we're tallying up our score. I finished with 15 burpees the first round, 16, and then 16. For reverse lunges, I got 28, 29, 32. Awesome. So without using a calculator, we're gonna do some mental conditioning. We're gonna tally up our score without using a calculator. Give us a total reps completed. Again, plank hold does not count. That's your rest. Burpees, reverse lunges. Tally it up. Tally it up. 31. 47. 30, 60. 81. Add the two together. 47, 81. 128. 128. Hoo-yah. Now the fun part is after you've taken a breath, is that math correct? I do this with my athletes. I have them sum their total reps in a workout without a calculator to see how sharp they can be from a mental conditioning standpoint with some physical work. It's a great combination of activities. Try it out within your next workouts if you're tallying some sort of rep scheme. And get a total, post it to the comments. Mine was 128 reps. Let me know what you got. Thank you. And yeah, Brittany, any questions on that? Any comments? Excited to see some of those scores come out.
No questions. We do have some comments coming in though. We have 100 from Captain Taz. William had a total of 126.
Good.
And for anybody else who hasn't submitted theirs yet, feel free to put them in there. This is your opportunity to get a little bit competitive and have some fun.
Yeah, somebody's definitely going to beat me. I know it. It's just a matter of time. Coach. I'm a coach now. Coach strength. Coach strong. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope that was fun. Again, just to review, let's go back to the whiteboard. Review. You know, warming up. It's the focus is just making sure range of motion and muscle activation is there so that you're able to do the work with good quality reps. The second round, 3 rounds, 4 quality, Cossack squats, reverse crunches with candlestick, push-ups with a pseudo planche, and then tuck-ups. Great job with those. I really felt that was a difficult midline stability, shoulder stability, and then the hips and the legs got working too, kind of a total body activation. And then the last round was 3 rounds, 45 seconds was 15 seconds of rest, and just try to improve your score every round. That is the goal. All right, we'll do a little cool down. And again, let me know if you have any questions. We're gonna just start out with a forward fold, legs out in front of you, and we're just gonna hold this position. Let your head relax, let your back relax. And pull into this flexed position. Deep breaths, let your head relax. We'll hold for 30 seconds, but again, 2 minutes is really the goal. If you can hold something for 2 minutes, you're actually creating some length in that tissue and some actual change in that soft tissue that will last. Great. Then we're going to go ahead and go into standing position. That same one we did before. Wide stance is the warm up. You're going to reach your head through. Then you're going to walk to the right. We're just going to move through this again. Reach up overhead. Just got to get full body activation. I just feel like I've been cooped up. I'm sure you have too. Down to the left and back to the middle. Let's go the other way, back to the left and reach up to the sky and back to the right and down. Good, and then we're gonna come onto our knees. You're gonna have your legs underneath you, sitting on your heels, and we're gonna grab one shoulder underneath the other. You can clasp your hands together we're just gonna hold this position, pulling those shoulders out in front of you and holding this position for 30 seconds. Feel a nice little stretch in the upper back and in that right shoulder, as well as maybe a little stretch in your quads too. 5 seconds. And switch. Left over right. And you're gonna clasp your hands together and stretch. Just stay there. I'm gonna walk closer so you can see. But again, clasping your right elbow over, sorry, your left elbow right over your right elbow, clasping your hands together and just pulling your shoulder blades together, apart. Just getting a nice little stretch to that shoulder. We'll hold for 10 more seconds. Wait and rest. Nice little swing your arms apart, and we will call it good from there. I will stop my time, record your time, and we'll see you next week. If you have any questions during the week, please don't hesitate to ask. Visit our Instagram, send me an email at mike@Sailing Performance Training. I'm happy to field any questions that you have about your fitness, about what you're going to do during the rest of the quarantine, and then what are some of the goals during the summertime. I feel like that's a lot of the conversation now. I'd love to provide some more insight, more education to the community on just how to best manage this, and as well going forward into the coming months, what it looks like for y'all. And I know every athlete is individual. I'm having consults with each one of our athletes to really understand what the priorities are now and what the priorities are going forward into the fall, next winter. There's a lot of conversation happening about how to manage this, and important for us to take a deep breath, keep training like we're doing, and just keep moving forward. And yeah, with that, Brittany, you kind of finish it up for us.
Absolutely, happy to. Before we do that, we do have one question that just came in from Robbie, and he wants to know, Mike, is there anything that we need to be careful of in terms of feet angle while we do the pull down or squats? I've heard that there's a relationship between feet and knee angle.
Okay, yeah, totally. So when we think, happy to field some of these questions like that, might as well, as long as we have time. So in terms of where the ankle sits, the tibia into the knee, and then the hip position is what we really want to focus on with toe position. So if you think about where your foot is, then as a result, if those feet turn out and we get into this ballet position, it makes it so the hip is really difficult to stabilize. The hip acts like a ball and socket, and if you can keep your feet forward, what happens is that then we can actually screw the legs into the ground, and at the hip it creates this type of torque or torsion at the socket, which activates the muscles in a way, externally rotates, the glutes turn on, and everything stabilizes at the hip, which is going to create a more stable platform at the pelvis to then go up the spine. So when we look at foot position, which is very important, as you said, Robbie, that's really important to create a solid foundation for the rest of your squat. Get my camera up a little bit. So let's do a couple of practice, and I'll talk about external, internal rotation. Let's keep our toes pointed as straight as possible. There's a certain amount of degrees, 5, 10 degrees, it's gonna be okay. And it depends on the way your hips are formed, but toes pointed, that's the goal. I want you to grip the ground with your toes. You're gonna grip the ground, and as a result, you're gonna create a little bit of an arch underneath your feet. That's gonna create a stable position of the ankle. Now what I want you to do is imagine there's a line running through the middle of your feet, and you're gonna try to spread the earth apart underneath you without letting your toes go to the side. You wanna keep those toes locked in, and I want you to spread the floor apart. It means your glutes are gonna turn on, your quads are gonna turn on, you're creating a lot of tension and torsion in the hip and in the legs. As a result, when you go back into a squat, the knees are gonna stay turned out just slightly, tracking over the toes, and you can come down to a position of stability, and then we can drive back up. Okay, now I'm going to challenge you, just for the sake of doing it, put those feet out really wide. And as a result, already you're, whoa, there's stability. Just go ahead and try to poke your butt a little bit. And what you'll see is that the glutes actually have a really hard time stabilizing when we're already turned out. There's no more room for external rotation at the hip. And as a result, then the pelvis doesn't have a stable platform. And the lumbar spine is going to start to create a little bit of extension, which will result in some low back pain usually. So the more that our legs turn out, usually it's a result, maybe there's a little impingement in your hip, or you just don't have the quite activation in the posterior chain to keep stable. So again, if we try to squat like this, it's going to feel very hard to stabilize. We're going to feel like we're loading our knees quite heavily. Okay. Again, if our feet are forward, we want to make sure we create that external rotation, because if we don't, then what the knees are going to do is they're going to start to cave in, or they're going to start to wobble at the bottom. That just means that our posterior chain, our butt, hasn't activated and we don't have any control at the hip. So toe straight, yes, about 5-10 degrees is okay, depending on how your hip is actually formed at the socket. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but the important point is to create external rotation at the hip. And the more straight your toe is, then the more external rotation you can get, and as a result, more stability. So I hope that answered your question, Robbie. But with a movement screen, I would really be able to assess what your, maybe a limitation that you may have in the hip, or an ankle limitation, and kind of what's causing that instability. But that's the goal. And with the movement screen, we can really identify the why behind maybe some imbalances that somebody might have. Good question. I love those types of questions.
All right, and with that, I think we can wrap it up. So thanks, Mike, and thanks again, everybody in the audience, for tuning in today. If you want to see more from these guys, feel free to visit their website to check out the Medallion program in a 2-week free trial. And as he mentioned, you can also follow up directly with him to talk about any personalized questions you might have. And if you enjoyed today's session, please consider supporting our efforts to build a community of active and engaged sailors through the Starboard Portal by purchasing or renewing your U.S. Sailing membership. We have a ton of great content coming up on the schedule. And thanks to U.S. Sailing members, we're able to adapt and evolve to better serve sailors with content like this. And you can do that at mem.ussailing.org to join or renew today. Thanks again, and thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.